Briggs with the Bruce Company's here, zhuzhing.
Zhuzhing.
270-9933, the number to call. Late summer zhuzhing.
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes your pots start getting a little tired looking now. Some of your cooler spring annuals are,
You're done.
they can be really, So we brought some things today. These are ornamental peppers.
Oh.
I know, very cool. They're edible, but I don't think they're bred for tastiness.
Okay.
And we've got Swiss chard, which a lot of people like to plant for the stem colors, along with ornamental kales. This is an amaranth, so it has this really cool flower structure. And this super cool thing is I'm having a brain freeze.
Looks like corn.
It's not corn. Oh my gosh. It's Jade Princess something.
Okay.
I'll remember
Think
in
about
like
it.
2 minutes.
Think about
All
it.
right.
All right, we'll get back to it. Let's get to the calls. Let's start with Sue in Prairie du Sac. Hi, Sue.
Hi.
What's your question?
Lisa, I've got a question about potting soil.
Okay.
It looks great when you first plant everything, but by now it's dried out. It won't hold water. And I've used a mixture of Miracle Grow, Purple Cow, cow manure, anything I can get my hands on.
Okay.
And all my plants are like dying because I can't get them water.
Well, a lot of times when you've got annuals, those roots will expand pretty quickly. So personally, I just use good, well-draining potting soil. It tends to keep the most body through the season. And if you keep things evenly watered, it doesn't dry out, so it becomes like a solid mass. One problem with your annuals, though, might be that they need some fertilizer. They're really heavily fertilized when they're in this stage, and then when they're in pots, you water through so much that a lot of times the fertilizer gets washed out.
She said she was using Miracle Grows.
Well, if she's using Miracle Grow potting mix, though, that has enough fertilizer in to get it started, but then it washes out pretty quickly.
Okay. All right, let's go to Robert in Madison. Hi, Robert.
Hi.
Hi, which question?
So I planted some Gladiola bulbs this year, about an inch deep, which is what somebody told me to do. They came up nicely, probably about 2 foot tall, but they're all falling over all the time. So my question, I guess, is did I not plant them deep enough? And also now, what do I do with them if I want them to come up again next year? Do I cut them off at the bulbs, save the bulbs in the basement, or leave them in the ground?
Okay, so Gladiola are a not hardy bulb. So what you need to do is after we have a frost, you're going to cut the stems off, and then you're going to dig them out of the ground, clean them off a little bit, and then put them in a cool, airy, dry place for the winter time. And then you can replant. Usually an inch, I would think that's a little shallow for a Gladiola. They get really tall, so I like to see 2 to 3 times the size of the bulb. That would be the depth. So next year, try planting them a little bit deeper. Go ahead and cut back the flowers when they're done, and then let the foliage finish up.
But the bulbs got to come inside.
Bulbs have to come inside, yes.
Okay, let's go to Barbara now, Richland Center. Hi, Barbara.
Hi. I have a quick question on burning bushes. I have 2 of them, and they're like about 5 foot tall, and I'd like to know when is the best time, if at all, to cut them back and how far down to cut them back, and if at all possible, to transplant them and when.
Okay, so burning bushes are not super picky about when you prune them because even though they have a flower, it's not very showy. So you can shear them anytime. The best time to be would be in the early spring when it's dormant, before it starts to leaf out. As far as transplanting them, I would wait till early spring when your ground is workable, but before the leaves start to pop would be the best time to move them around.
But you want the leaves on in the fall because that's when they turn into the burning part.
That's when you have the nice color,
That's the burning part of the bush. All right, let's go to Linda in Loganville. Hi, Linda.
Hi, thank you so much for taking my call.
You're welcome. What's your question?
Well, I have a young pear tree that I planted maybe 2 years ago. It's only about 3 feet tall, so it's just a little thing. Over the winter, the main leader did die back, but now I have like 4 new leaders that are just as tall as that main one, and wondering what I should do with it and if it's savable.
I'm sure it's savable, so I guess what I would do is take 1 leader and sort of splint it up like you were putting a splint on a broken arm to get that to stand straight. And then if you clip back the tops on the other ones, then you'll get some side branching, which will be a little bit easier to deal with.
Okay, that should work.
Yeah.
All right, if you're on the lines, stay there. Lisa will talk to you off the air. We'll see you next time.